In the months leading up to the election, Donald Trump and his campaign tried their very best to distance themselves from the 900-page conservative manifesto known as Project 2025, claiming that he knew nothing about it.
I have nothing to do with Project 2025. That's out there. I haven't read it. I don't want to read it.
This is a document I know nothing about. It's called Project 25. I heard about it a week ago and has nothing to do with me whatsoever.
I don't know what the hell it is. It's Project 25. He's involved in Project, and then they read some of the things, and they are extreme. I mean, they're serious.
Turns out he was right. Trump is now choosing several people connected to Project 2025 for key roles in his new administration, including that guy that you just saw in that video there, Russ Vought, who Trump just moments ago announced as his pick to lead the Office of Management and Budget. As NBC News is reporting today, Trump's transition team is taking suggestions for potential hires from the extensive personnel database created by Project 2025.
Not a single senator demanding to see any reports about the Biden nominees committing statutory rape or possibly raping a married woman in a hotel room after drugging her and then paying her off. The ethical background of the Biden nominees is flawless. But in January, the Senate confirmation process will become a cesspool thanks to Donald Trump and his choices for Attorney General and Secretary of Defense. It has long been known that former Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz, who resigned from the House just last week, has been under investigation for sex with minors and illicit drug use. But we learned Saturday that Donald Trump's choice for Secretary of Defense, Fox host Pete Hegseth, has been accused of rape, the kind of thing Donald Trump bragged about himself on the Access Hollywood video when he said, when you're a celebrity, they let you do it.
At least one is out, but the list of names keeps growing. Since his victory, President-elect Trump has put forward more than 40 names, and that includes 7 within an hour last night. While he remains in Mar-a-Lago, President-elect Trump's future administration continues to take shape. Late Friday, he made a flurry of cabinet announcements. Among them, Scott Bessent, a billionaire investor and hedge fund manager, as Secretary of the Treasury. He'd be key to the president-elect's plan for tariffs on many foreign-made goods. Bessent is openly gay and would be the first gay cabinet member to serve in a Republican administration if confirmed. Trump also announced former Congressman Dr. Dave Weldon as his pick to run the CDC, Dr. Jeanette Neshawat, a Fox News medical contributor, as U.S. Surgeon General, and Dr. Marty McCary as FDA Commissioner. NFL veteran Scott Turner has been chosen to run the Department of Housing and Urban Development, and Congresswoman Lori Chavez DeRemer as Labor Secretary.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Russ Vought will be nominated as Director of the Office of Management and Budget. He served in the role in the previous Trump administration and was an architect of Project 2025, the conservative plan to overhaul the government.
They threw due process, fundamental fairness, and our Constitution out the window.
Florida Attorney General Pam Bondi replaced former Congressman Matt Gaetz as the nominee for U.S. Attorney General. Gaetz withdrew his name amid questions about whether he could be confirmed.
Tulsi Gabbard, Trump's pick for Director of National Intelligence, will have to defend her denial of amplifying Russian propaganda and meeting with Syria's president.
Her fondness for Bashar al-Assad, someone who is gassing his own people, calls her judgment deeply into question.
Medical experts are weighing in on another controversial Trump cabinet pick. Robert F. Kennedy Jr., a vaccine skeptic suspicious of mainstream medicine, was chosen to lead the Department of Health and Human Services. And a number of groups on both sides of the political spectrum are raising concerns. Here's ABC's Jay O'Brien.
This morning, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. promising massive changes and potentially significant turnover at federal public health agencies if he takes the helm of the Department of Health and Human Services.
I do believe that autism does come from vaccines.
The idea sparked by a decades-old study that was retracted years ago. Multiple independent studies since have found no link between vaccines and autism. Kennedy.
Y'all, there ain't a black man or black woman in America who could ever be on tape making this statement and they would be nominated to be the Secretary of Health and Human Services. Listen to this comment about Robert Kennedy and heroin.
And I was at the bottom of my class. I started doing heroin. I went to the top of my class. Suddenly I could sit still and I could read.
Next, pandemic strikes. Americans will again depend on senior health officials to steer the nation's response and reassure the public. But the team Trump has assembled is largely untested, possesses scant infectious disease expertise, and has often questioned vaccines and other interventions overseen by the agencies they have been tapped to lead. Michael Osterholm, an infectious disease expert who advised President Biden's transition team, tells the Washington Post, when we get into another firefight with a microbe, we need all hands on deck. We need the best science and the best public health practice to come forward. I'm not confident at this point that this administration can do that.
President-elect Trump ending election month with dozens of picks for key positions in his new administration, including the heads of all 15 federal departments who will now move on to the confirmation process.
The American public has voted to see change.
But some could face opposition, with Democrats concerned over a number of issues, including vetting.
I want to make a decision on each one of them on the merits, and I can't do that without the background checks.
Defense pick Pete Hegseth expected to face tough questions after NBC News obtained a California police report detailing a woman's sexual assault allegation.
The matter was fully investigated, and I was completely cleared.
Police didn't charge Hegseth, but also never said he was cleared. Hegseth will also likely be grilled for saying women shouldn't serve in combat roles. Senator and combat veteran Tammy Duckworth.
We would have an ineffective military that was not capable of deployment if we were to pull out.
Stepping back here, this cast of characters, this very C-level cast of characters, very much feels like a TV show. And that's great. When we're done, Joy, my wife and I will binge Lincoln Lawyer and Shrinking. We got to catch up on those. But a TV show don't pay my bills. A TV show don't keep me safe in the neighborhood. A TV show doesn't fix the issues at our southern border. A TV show isn't going to make America strong in the world. So for all the millions of people who put everything into this candidate and are hoping that he's going to address what they voted on, this isn't going to help them at all. And so I actually feel quite bad, for the people who believe that Donald Trump was going to come in and take their issues seriously. But also by putting so many other multimillionaires and billionaires in power, one thing is clear. The Republicans are for the rich and Democrats are for the rest of us. And we have to hammer that home every single day.
And the question that we have to all ask when we're confronted with nominations like Robert F. Kennedy Jr., are these the best individuals available to the incoming Trump administration? Is Robert F. Kennedy Jr., by way of example, the best that America has to offer? Will he and others give us the best opportunity to make a difference in the lives of the American people? Are some of these nominations a real path forward to solving problems for everyday Americans? That's the question that I've been grappling with, that the American people are grappling with. And the answer should be clear.
I know this is an uncertain time. I'm clear-eyed about that. I know you're clear-eyed about it. And it feels heavy. And I just have to remind you, don't you ever let anybody take your power from you. You have the same power that you did before November 5th. And you have the same purpose that you did. And you have the same ability to engage and inspire.